Most people don't know how to get rejected. And the reason why that is because most people think to themselves, how is there an art in failing? Graceful defeat is what I like to call it. Think about like falling on your face. Now that's not ideal, that's not something you want to happen in day-to-day life, but there's a way to do it gracefully, properly. And as such, there's a way to handle rejection. Let me set the stage. Now I ain't even gonna get to women yet, but trust me, we need to build a basis first so you understand where I'm going with this point. I promise you watch the end, it will be worth it. Jobs. We've all heard of them, real popular thing among the masses. Now, if you've tried to, or have a job, let me ask you this. How many of you got rejected by a job before actually getting a real one? I'm almost positive that all of you guys raised your hand. Metaphorically, mostly because I can't actually see you. Oh, picks me. If you've tried to get into the job market, especially with little to no experience, you're gonna realize your chances are abysmally small. When I was a bit younger, I was trying to get a job within high school. So naturally, I applied to all the entry-level jobs that you pretty much need basic motor skills to be able to do. And never did I know that McDonald's was so dang picky. I applied to maybe 30 jobs, and not a single one even bothered to call me. I think the second that the person reading the application saw that I didn't have a high school degree yet, they, one, laughed at it, 2, took a picture of it, 3, sent it to the group chat, 4, threw it out, and then 5, hit me with an auto response email, something like, I'm sorry, but it has been deemed that your services are not required for the task at hand. But don't let this discourage you from still shopping at our business. Have a great day. If you're lucky, that is. Half of these companies won't hit you up with anything. They'll just leave you in perpetual suspense. I know it's been a year, but I'm sure they're gonna get back to me this month. Sounds a lot like a certain something else, right? If you get rejected by a job, you pretty much have 3 options. 1, you can try again. 2, you can go back and analyze, and 3, you can just give up. Now this isn't one of those things that's like, oh, you know, there's a clear option that I'm trying to get you to pick. No, because these are all equally valid, but it's all about the situation. Sometimes you could be doing everything right and the company just didn't pick you. You got a little unlucky. Then you gotta try again. It happens. It's part of the world. Graceful defeat. Don't let it get to you. Just keep pushing. And honestly, on top of that, apply to as many jobs as you can, because I used to be that kind of guy that was like, oh, I only want to apply to one job at a time, because if multiple hit me up, then I don't want to have to be the person to bear the bad news that I've been taken and I can't fulfill their role. I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But then you realize these multi-million-dollar companies with an ensemble of employees don't even have time to give you an email that you didn't get the job. You don't owe them anything. It's good to be relentless in some cases. In other cases, sometimes you gotta take a step back, analyze before you go back in there. You know what I mean? Like if your resume says something along the lines of Jim Bob, husband, father to 3, likes long walks on the beach, and mint chocolate chip ice cream. You can't get upset when it goes to the GC after that, right? You take the time to fix it, make something good, and try again. However, sometimes you gotta realize that there is no chance something is happening and just step back entirely. Just ignore it. Move away. For instance, if you're applying for a job in cybersecurity, right, that typically requires a master's degree and you have a bachelor's in gender studies, you're not gonna get the job. There's no way you could phrase your resume, besides lying, of course, that will get you that job. But I'm pretty sure all of that kind of goes without saying. When it comes to a job, it's so much easier to learn from your mistakes, and that's what graceful defeat is. Picking to learn from your mistakes. That's all it is. It's really simple. But keep everything I just broke it down into in your mind. Let's get to women. And it could be any partner of any sexual preference, but my personal experience I've had with women, and for the sake of making the video easier to understand, we're just gonna use women. A woman could be like a job in some aspects. They can ghost you. They can hit you up with an email saying you didn't get the part. They can recommend you for a new position or role in their life, that being the boy/friend, the bestie. You know what I mean? You don't want to go there. Actually, the reason why I made this video is because I saw this situation with my friend, and I felt bad for him because he was a little aloft to the art of graceful defeat. So now I'm making this video to hopefully try to help somebody else so they don't have to learn it the way I did. And I'm not trying to rag on him at all. We've all been there, and this is a learning experience, but I'm trying to give some advice so some people don't have to go through it. My friend liked this girl, right? And to be fair, from the looks of it, I thought that she was digging him. I thought that it was gonna be a typical happily ever after type thing. And so I kind of left it alone, right? But one time he comes up to me and he tells me he asked her out and she rejected him. It turns out, in fact, she was not digging him. Now, this put my boy in shambles. I would be on Instagram Reels, and every time I scroll, why would she do this to me? She broke me. All it is, blah, 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 blah. So eventually I hit him up. I'm like, yo, bro, you good? And I really felt bad for him because not only, the situation is hard, I saw a lot of younger me in him. Actually, I saw a little too much of a younger me in him. The next day, I'm in school, and I see him walking with her, talking to her. Now, I knew exactly what was happening. He was trying to sticky hand her. And once again, I know this because I took my fair share of L's before I got my massive win, And if you don't know what a sticky hand is, then don't worry, I just made it up. I'll explain it to you. To understand what a sticky hand is, you first have to understand the opposite. When you're cuffed, right? When you're locked in with a partner, with your woman, it's like that. It's like that. It don't matter how hard I pull this, it's not breaking, right? You shift this way, oh, okay, she goes with you. She shifts this way, you go with her. It's a balance, right? The problem is with the sticky hand, right? Now, hold up, is my best analogy yet. I'm cooking, I promise you. The hand is the guy, right? And the ball is the girl. You're gonna realize that you have a link, but it's not as solid as the cup, right? You're gonna try to do your own thing, live your own life, do your own things. It's gonna break because she's not gonna stand with that. She's not moving with you. You don't have that much influence in her life because you will not only willingly friend zoned yourself after you ask her out, you're just leeching off of her, and she is not trying to mess with you. But even on top of that, if you try to stick, you're not doing your own things, but you're not actively chasing her, right? She's gonna go live her life, and eventually, still same result. It's gonna fall off. Your link is gonna break. It's fragile. You don't have that much impact in her life. So the only thing you can do when you're in that situation, the only thing you can do is follow her around with every step. Follow her with her life. And as you're doing that, you're crossing over the boundaries of self-respect, willpower, entitlement. And guess what? One day you're gonna have enough. And it doesn't matter how far you've been. It doesn't matter if you're here or here or here. Eventually, you're gonna have enough and you're gonna try to stand your ground, and guess what? She will leave because your relationship did not change from here to here. You followed her around your life and she will drop you like that. Tell me I'm not cooking. The second you try to stick to her, you've lost any chance you have of cuffing her. Because as people, we have these basic ways in our head of understanding and handling rejection that you would apply to normal things, right? But with a woman, it's different. Because guess what? If a girl rejects you, the only option you have is to walk away. Yet we will try to gaslight ourselves into thinking that there's another method. Thinking you can try again. Thinking there's signs or a way you could better yourself and keep doing the same thing over and over again. And in that gaslighting, you're forgetting the art of graceful defeat. Because if we go back to the job example, you wouldn't sign up for the same job again. That's a no-brainer. Do this with different jobs over and over and over again, and you take your experiences over. So why are you doing it with a girl? If a girl rejects you, keep it pushing. Move on to the next. Sometimes you just got a girl that doesn't dig you. Sometimes you should look back at yourself, work on yourself, do your own things. And sometimes it's okay to just walk away. Take a step back. And that's the only way you're going to retain your dignity or self-respect. Because guess what? If you don't latch onto her, she'll laugh. She'll make fun of you with her friends. She'll do all of this type of stuff. You'll be unfazed. Because she does not have influence on you. She cannot pull you one way. She has no influence on what you're doing with your life. Graceful defeat isn't always about publicity. Not everyone might agree with what you do or how you decide to handle it. But in the end, you will come out a better person. And you take all of that experience and you move that to the next girl, and then guess what? You're a better person. You've gained nothing but positives out of this. And maybe this time, you'll put some cuffs on it. The art of graceful defeat. Have a good day.